Good morning, fourth graders. It's me, Mr. Martins, getting ready to teach Unit 4's final lesson. And the good news is not even really a lesson because the last lesson is all about focused practice, just like it says right there. And instead of introducing something new, we just go back over some of the hardest stuff. And the hardest stuff that we've done in Unit 4 is writing equations to solve multi-step word problems involving all four operations and unknown quantities. But that learning target shouldn't sound new because that's one that we've used over and over this unit. Not recently, because we were looking at factors, multiples, prime numbers, patterns, but that was just a couple of lessons. If you look at the most or majority of Unit 4, it has been in solving multi-step word problems involving all four operations and unknown quantities. So that's what we're doing here and now. Get ready. This is the last lesson. Here's that learning target again, and I just want you to consider where you fit on this scale. Uh, are you feeling like you're still a solid 2, or maybe are you feeling like you're a solid 3? Hopefully by now, solid 3, maybe even somewhere between 3 and 4. Each of you are different, and you're going to handle this in your own way. Just make sure that you are preparing for the test as much as you need to. So here we go. Um, Once again, we're going to use the same steps that we've been using this whole time. And what I'd really like you to do is I'd really like you to hit that pause button and try and solve as much as you can. So right now, hit that pause button, see what you can do on your own. And then once you get to that point where you're ready to compare or you want to see what happens next, hit play and let's do this together. Here's the problem. A small pottery store has 9 boxes full of pottery items. The boxes weigh 765 pounds in all. How much does each box weigh? Well, right away, we go to our answer statement. If the question is, how much does each box weigh? We're going to write with a pen, each box weighs. Then we're going to put in our blank and then pounds. Okay, now we go back to chunking, putting our information together, building some type of model, and then equation. So a small pottery store has 9 boxes full of pottery items. So I'm going to draw a bar. And we're going to label this maybe P for pottery. And let's see. Small pottery store has 9 boxes full of pottery. So does that go here on the end? Does that tell us how much pottery we have? No, that tells us how many boxes are full of pottery. So I might do this. I might start drawing some boxes, but instead of all of them, I'm going to do this whole dot, 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 and this will be our 9th one. So should I put 1, 2, 9 here? I guess the question I'm asking for, is this for the number of boxes? I don't think so. I don't think so, because over here it says that it weighs 765 pounds in all. And we are actually looking for that weight. So up here, I'm going to put that this is my first box or 1 box. And this is 2 boxes. And altogether, I have 9 boxes. Okay, all right. And what I'm looking for is what's inside there. How much does each box weigh? So essentially, boys and girls, this box plus this box plus this box plus this box plus this box, all the boxes in between, all the way up to 9 boxes, equals 765 pounds. So I guess you could say that 9 times question mark, or instead of question mark, we could put the letter B. 9 times the number of boxes equals 765 pounds. I'm feeling like some of you already knew that this equation was going to have to do with either multiplication or division, because in our answer statement, we write each box weighs blank pounds. But is that what we're actually going to do? Are we going to multiply for our answer? No, we can't, because we have a missing number here. And if I were to draw this as a break apart model, I would have 765 at the top and then 9 and B. This would be my break apart drawing. And based on that, that tells me what I need to do, which is divide. Good. So I'm going to do 765 divided by 9. 9 goes into 76 8 times. 8 times 9 is 72. 76 minus 72 is 4. Bring down my 5. 9 goes into 45. 5 times 9 is 45. And then it looks like there's nothing left to bring down. So B equals 85. Each box weighs 85 pounds. Now, does that make sense? If I go back and do 85 times 9 or 9 times 85, will that get me back to 765? If you'd like to hit pause here and try it out, that would be a good idea. But I can tell you that I've already done that just to make sure, and it does work. So there's our first example. Hopefully you guys had the opportunity to do some of that on your own. If you did not do some of that on your own, then let's use this next opportunity to do some on our own once I can get it to work here. Okay, here we go. This next problem says the employees at a pottery warehouse are packing boxes of vases to be delivered by truck. They packed 824 small vases in boxes that each hold 8 vases. They also packed 296 large vases in boxes that each hold 4 vases. How many boxes did the workers pack in all? Okay, good question. And I know what some of you are thinking already. I can hear at least Samantha thinking, Mr. Martins, why so many numbers and words? And the reason why so many numbers and words is to give you guys a challenge, is to get you to the point where you realize that yes, you can do this. And it might take some time and it definitely takes some thinking and some working, but you can. Let's start with the first step. Write an answer statement. How many boxes did the workers pack in all? The workers packed in all blank boxes. So putting down that answer statement gives me some direction. Now I know I'm not looking for the number of vases. I'm looking for the number of boxes. How many boxes did the workers pack in all? Now we go back and we start breaking apart the word problem to see if we can create some type of drawing or model. The employees at a pottery warehouse are packing boxes of vases to be delivered by truck. They packed 824 small vases in boxes that each hold 8 vases. They also packed 296 large vases in boxes that each hold 4 vases. So it sounds to me like we have a different number of boxes being packed because there are different kinds of vases. What are our two kinds of vases? Good. We have small vases. So I'm going to do an SB. And we have large vases. I'm going to draw a bar for small vases and a bar for large vases. And I'm not too worried about how big my bars should be because I can always go back and adjust them if I need to. Now I also know how many vases altogether, not altogether, but for each kind. It says they packed 824 small vases. So I'm going to put 824 for small and 296 large. Okay. Now it looks like if we go back to the small vases, that they were put in boxes that each hold 8 vases. So I'm going to get 8 vases in one box, and then 8 vases in 2 boxes, and then dot, dot, dot. And how many vases go in the last box? 8. But what I don't know is how many boxes that's going to take. And I'm doing the same thing for the large vases. I have 4 in this box and 4 in this box. And I'm going to go dot, dot, dot. I'm going to put 4 in this box, but I don't know how many boxes. So I have 2 question marks there. Wait a second. How many boxes do I need for 824 small vases if 8 are going into each box? So in other words, how many 8s are in 824? Doesn't that sound like division to you? So when I get to writing my equation, I'm going to do 824 divided by 8. How many 8 go into 824? And for large vases, I'm looking to see how many 4s go into 296. So 296 divided by 4. So I'll have the total number of small or boxes for small vases and the total number of boxes for large vases. And if I want to know how many boxes in all, I'm going to have to add those two. And that will give me the number of boxes altogether. Okay, so boys and girls, if you had not paused at this point and you were just kind of following the lesson, hit that pause button now. Do some of this math on your own. But let me be clear about this real quick. What we wrote here at the bottom is an equation. What you're about to do now, what I'm about to do now, is we're about to show our work to solve those equations. So those are two separate things. We have our equation at the bottom, and now we're going to show our work. So you hit that pause button, you show your work. When you're done, unpause it, come back, compare to what I do. Here I go. So first I have 824 divided by 8. 8 goes into 8 once. That is 8. Bring down my 2. Here's where fourth graders sometimes goof. 8 goes into 2 0 times. 0 times 8 is 0. And I get 2 left over. Bring down my 4. 8 goes into 24 3 times. That's 24. And I ran out of room, but I'm also done. I have 0 as a remainder and nothing left to bring down. So 824 divided by 8 is 103. And now I need to do 296 divided by 4. 8 goes into 29. 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. When I subtract, I get 1. Bring down my 6. 4 goes into 16 4 times. And I get 0. Nothing left to bring down. The answer for this part is 74. Last step, 103 plus 74. And once again, I apologize for the messiness. There isn't a whole lot of room on this page to show my work. And there's my final answer, 177 boxes. Wait, does it make sense that 103 plus 74 equals 177? Yeah. Does it make sense that 824 divided by 8 equals 103? Well, 100 times 8 is 800. That's close enough. And does it make sense that 296 divided by 4 equals 74? Well, 70 times 4 equals 280. That's close. It's reasonable. Do you guys catch right there how I used estimating to check my way through this problem? Just to help me see that I probably made some good decisions and got things right. All right, so there goes our second example. And now we move on to our third and final. That is correct. Boys and girls, if you have not used any of these opportunities to hit that pause button so that you could see what you can do on your own, this is your third and final opportunity to hit that pause button and see what you can do on your own. Remember, you don't have to stay permanently paused. Just pause it to see if you can read it on your own, write your answer statement on your own, and then along the way, unpause, find out how you did, repause, hold that pause even for longer to see how much you can do independently. Let's begin. Last year, there were 3,875 different pottery items for sale at a large craft show. This year, there were 1,260 fewer pottery items for sale at the craft show. How many pottery items were for sale at the craft show this year? So I'm going to jump right into this year. This year there were blank pottery items. Or maybe you wrote this year, or maybe you wrote there were blank pottery items this year. Well, I had a tough time getting that one out, but my brain thought of both answer statements. This year there were blank pottery items, or there were blank pottery items this year. Whichever way you write it is fine. This year being kind of important because in the word problem, there's a last year and there's a this year. And so in our answer statement, we want to be focused. All right, so speaking of last year and this year, those are our two labels because that's what we are comparing. That's the information we're using. When I'm setting up my bars, I'm really not too worried about which one is bigger or smaller because I can go back and change that later on after chunking and collecting information. So last year, there were 3,875 different pottery items for sale at a large craft show. So last year is this one right here. So I can put 3,875. And I'm also feeling like if I needed to, I can also demonstrate that last year there were a total of 3,875 by putting the number inside as well. So that's last year, check. This year, there were 1,260 fewer pottery items. So I do need to make this smaller. I almost erased the whole thing. I do need to make this smaller because there is a difference, and it tells us that the difference is, come on, pen, is 1,260. So that's the difference between last year and this year. And this year is what we're looking for. This year there were blank pottery items. I left the Y out. How come nobody told me it said potter items? It's okay, it's fixed now. So we're looking for this year. I know the difference. So in other words, this year plus the difference equals last year. But I can't use addition to figure out this missing number. That's right, you guys remember, if these two together equal the big one, then we're going to use subtraction to get what's missing. So we're going to do 3,875 minus 1,260. 5 minus 0 is 5. 7 minus 6 is 1. 8 minus 2 is 6. 3 minus 1 is 2. And it looks like the question mark equals 2,615 pottery items. Pottery items. Or I can write 2,615 right up there. Now, my final question, the one I always ask, does my answer make sense? Well, if I take this year's number, 2,615, and I add the difference, 1,260, I'm supposed to get 3,875. If you want to check that, go ahead and check that. I always recommend checking it in some way, either in real numbers or in rounding and estimating. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that was the last one there for today. Yep, that was the last one. And so that means tomorrow you guys review. And then on, let's see, tomorrow's review and Thursday's review. And then I believe on Friday, we start taking the test. That's what I remember, at least. I could be wrong. Boys and girls, thanks for hanging in there with me. It looks like we've been running for about 22 minutes. If you've been hitting pause along the way, it should have taken you longer. If your teacher has an assignment for you today, make sure go ahead and complete that assignment. Otherwise, go ahead and check Google Classroom. That'll tell you what you're supposed to be doing next. Have a wonderful day.